Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to be talking about a very important policy that affects many students in South Carolina, including myself and you. This policy change is the need for free mental health counseling services at public universities in the state of South Carolina because, as you may know now, free mental health services are not available as a resource for many students at many public universities in the state. My focus group gave me a lot of helpful feedback as I developed this hopefully good presentation. They reassured me that I was on the right track and encouraged me to continue to strengthen my argument and just helped me to realize that this is a topic worth advocating for. So the specific topic that I am arguing a policy change for is that every university should offer a limited number of free counseling sessions per semester for all students who are enrolled. This policy change would ensure that students have access to mental health support that they need most without having a financial burden or being blocked by a financial barrier. The policy change agent who has the direct power to make this change in South Carolina is South Carolina State Senator Katrina Shealy. She plays a major role in shaping policy around youth, health, and family welfare, which makes her the ideal candidate to be a person to advocate this change to. My persuasive purpose that I would be advocating for and sharing would be that the state of South Carolina should require public universities to provide free health counseling during semester to improve academic performance and support the well-being of students. This topic connects to my own personal life in a very real way because as a college student, I personally struggled with mental health challenges, anxiety, depression, and these challenges can be very expensive to get help for and to treat. These barriers really affected me and other students I know because, experiencing this thing firsthand has made me really passionate about advocating for this policy as I know it could really, really help people, their academic performance, their social abilities, etc. So when I speak about this issue, I'm not just sharing information, I'm sharing lived experience that reflects what many students are going through right now and something that I went through in the past. Through my research on Senator Shealy, I learned that she's consistently supporting bills that protect youth and promote physical and mental health well-being, and that she really values practical, accessible solutions to often work to ensure that families and youth people have the resources that they need to succeed in our environment, in our community, in the state of South Carolina, which would be really, really beneficial for students, giving them resources they need to succeed in college as they're, young people who are going to start families soon and graduate and go off into the real world, getting professional jobs. So learning more about her really tells me that she is someone who would really care deeply about this policy like me, and that she would also probably support students' mental health. So after this research and after reviewing my policy, I plan to use two techniques to persuade her. The first technique would be to appeal to her values, especially focusing on, the youth well-being of students, college students, and how important their well-being will be for our community in their future. Secondly, by using evidence-based arguments to show how counseling directly improves academic outcomes and reduces crises and promotes long-term success. The evidence that will be most appealing to her would include, statistics like I stated in my worksheets. More than 60% of college students have reported some type of mental health challenge that they've experienced during their time at a university. And research from credible college organizations that has shown how counseling improves academic performance would also be very appealing research to include in this uh, advocacy topic that I would be presenting to her that I did include in my worksheet. So after the many pros of this policy, there are a few challenges when you take into consideration implementing a policy to a public university, which requires using resources for free, quote unquote. So the biggest obstacle I think would be funding, and many universities will argue that they can't afford to offer free counseling to students because they're worried about staffing costs, growing demand, and already being on a budget. So I made up a low-cost solution, which one approach could be to use graduate students from psychology department or social work programs to provide counseling, as it would be more cost efficient. And this model actually already exists in many states. It significantly will reduce the cost and maintain quality care for students while giving the graduate students an experience to, work in that field. And it's a really practical alternative that many people may not have considered, including Senator Shilley. So by presenting this cost-effective strategy, I will strengthen my argument that this policy is achievable. Now I want to really briefly describe how I structured my outline, which was just creating a outline about the mental health points that I wanted to address to her. And while considering many questions that people may have, I would also consider questions that the audience may have Senator Shilley would have while presenting this to her, while coming up with solutions beforehand, and just emphasize how important this change is. So, closing this out, I would express and emphasize that college students are facing more mental health challenges more than ever, and accessing counseling should not depend on someone's financial situation. By adopting this policy, Senator Shilley would help make South Carolina a leader in supporting students' well-being and academic success. Free counseling is not just a service, it's a necessity that has the power to change lives. Thank you so much for listening and for your consideration in adopting this policy change in the state of South Carolina.